What you have here is Pokemon Silver for Game Boy Color. For an example, I also have here Pokemon the trading card game. So this one I already replaced the battery on. You don't need this tool. This is the bigger one. Here, this one is 3.3 millimeters, or 3.31. Let's take this apart shortly, and we will see. I actually used the same battery for that job. We have the multimeter right here. Have set it to voltage mode, and we should see about something like 3.3 volts. This one is 3.34. This one is quite a new battery. You're going to see a similar if we just apply this to the battery. This one is 3.5. Next, we're going to check the Pokemon Silver from Japan. So this one obviously uses a different board, and we see that it's at 0.1 volts. That one is obviously not enough to hold a save state. So what we need to do is obviously change the battery in here in order to hold a save state again. What we want to do is remove the cartridge board from the case. We're not going to destroy it. Firstly, I just want to have a quick inspect at the board and see if anything is obviously in bad shape, but otherwise everything else looks fine. I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. I don't have desoldering tool, and I don't really want to use the soldering braid for this job here. So we're going to make sure our pump is empty, our tip is clean. Always make sure the tip is clean before it goes in. Then we want to heat the solder. We see it flowing. Get it wet and remove a large chunk of it. I actually want to remove most parts of the solder before I remove actually the battery. We're going to do it quite crudely and quite simply with everything a normal person might have at home. There's still a large chunk of solder which would make the job quite hard. Clean the tip up a bit. And we need a different tool here. These ones are fine. I'm going to use it really improper. What you would want to use is something like a nylon tool in order to not damage the board, but I'm pretty sure this is fine. So, hey. So, that terminal is off the board. Now we're going to remove the other terminal. Well, that was easy. Find our new battery, which is this one here. So we see the positive terminal here, and it's bound to this terminal. And on the board, luckily, Nintendo was decent enough to show us where to apply the positive terminal, and that's right here. The negative terminal should go right here. We actually see it on the board. So actually these terminals are quite large, so we actually don't have to align this too much, but for this job we again also use some solder with pre-applied flux. So the fumes are still kicking, so that won't wet it right, but we want to apply a bit more solder. Yeah, that actually looks nice and shiny for a bit, but then it doesn't. Now apply solder to the different terminal. You see, this is really not good solder. I cheaped out on solder, which you probably shouldn't do, but this is what I can get for €1.50. So I'm not really complaining about this. Just complaining about me being an absolute cheap ass. Wow. You know what? It's not looking all that great, but I'm gonna show you that this will work.
A few moments later.
Yeah, that's cool enough that it's only warm to the touch. Now we can actually apply the board back into the casing. Well, actually this battery here is a different type. Well, what we actually did is use a CR2032, but this one was a CR2025. So this one is a bit larger and it's going to hold a bit more of a charge. So I have been told, and we actually need its original screw right here, and the right tool size, or right game bit to screw it in back together correctly. So now we are actually going to take our Game Boy out, check if the game would load. What I would think will happen the first time around is that the game won't boot, but it could just boot right. Nope, it won't. I actually got to take the contrast up a bit so you can actually see that that is completely fine. We actually want to loosen the screw a bit, tuck it a bit on our work surface, and now it will work. So we're just gonna rush a bit through here, and yeah, play a bit of Pokemon.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
We're going to see this, and we see already we have a continuable save state about 0 minutes in. And we see that the game saves now. If you liked the video, let me know, leave a like. If you disliked the video, leave me a comment and tell me what was wrong about what I was doing or why you disliked the video. See you in the next one.